to now speak to Kurt and Boa. We want to talk to them about We Rise for Our Land, which is a film that they made, and it explores the complexities and contentions of land struggles in 3 countries in Southern Africa: Eswatini, which we've just been speaking about, Mozambique, as well as Zambia. And alongside the film, there is also a book that has been edited by Boa, which is coming out with Daraja Press, called We Rise for Our Land, Struggles and State Repression in Southern Africa. So to tell you a bit more about our guests first, before we discuss the film, Boaventura Monjane is a postdoctoral researcher at the Institute for Poverty, Land and Agrarian Studies at the University of the Western Cape. He is a fellow at the International Research Group on Authoritarianism and Counter Strategies of the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation. And he did his PhD at the University of Coimbra about the agency of agrarian movements and their political response to agrarian neoliberalism in Southern Africa. He is the associate producer for We Rise for Our Land and originally conceived of the idea. And then Kurt Otabenga Orderson is an award-winning filmmaker from South Africa. He has worked in over 6 continents and has directed and produced over 11 feature documentaries, such as the award-winning Not in My Neighborhood, and those have been screened at international film festivals and various broadcast outlets. Kurt is also the founder of Azania Rising Productions, which produced We Rise for Our Land, and it's a company that aims to inspire young people through creative storytelling about Africa and African diasporas. Kurt was also the creative director for the film we are here to discuss. So thank you so much to the both of you for coming onto the program. I suppose a good question to start with, and thinking about what Sean and I were just talking about now in Eswatini, is why this film? Why did you think it was important to make a film about land struggles in Southern Africa? I mean, land, we know, is a hot button topic in everywhere in Africa, especially given the history of settler colonialism that endures and its legacy, which is still strong. So how did you think a film would sort of add to our understanding of land struggles, and why this film?
Brother Boa.
Can you hear us, Boa?
Struggling to unmute my microphone.
I think you've got it now.
You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Loud
Yes.
and clear.
Great. Okay. My device shows that my microphone is on silence, but if you can hear me, so I'm gonna just go ahead. So we thought that it will be a powerful thing to document and show struggles around land in Southern Africa, and most importantly, profile and highlight the agency of people that are struggling to defend access to land and control over land in their countries in Southern Africa. The film is about Mozambique, Eswatini, and Zambia, but the book is about 5 other countries apart from we wanted to actually show that there is agency in Southern Africa, that rural people, rural women, peasants, young people, young men and young women are not a passive victim of the developments that are happening in Southern Africa in terms of penetration of capital in the countryside, occupying their land for a variety of things, including mining, commercial and industrial agriculture, tourism, developments that are businesses, people, but also include political elites and kings, as the case of Eswatini shows. So we wanted to a political tool for information, but also for advocacy towards a future that is a film and a book that will, profile and highlight of those who are now victims of land grabbing in the region. I mean, the film has card will shows most importantly the agency of women, of rural women, rural leaders, female leaders that are leading struggles that are about protecting their rights to land, their right to livelihood, and their right to dignity. So I think that's all I can say for now, William. And
Thanks, Boa. Kurt, is there anything you want to add to that?
Jan?
Yeah. Thank you, William and Sean. So as Boa was saying, myself and Boa, we've known each other for a number of years, just through activist work and activist circles, and running into each other at like big protests, whether it's in South Africa or somewhere in Swaziland or in the Southern African district region. And Boa approached me with the concept document. That conversation started about 2 years ago, and we collaborated on this specific film with Sam Moyo, African Institute for Agrarian Studies, and as our partner. And but Boa came with the concept document. I basically developed a visual treatment, a visual story, and we collaborated on this project, trying to obviously just excavate, what is the issues on the ground, specifically around the repression and the criminalization of land activists. But more importantly, also, I was really interested in this idea of like, how do we think through ideas around restorative justice and the idea of how cinema can be used as a kind of advocacy tool, right, to raise an awareness about the issues specifically regarding land reform. And also, more importantly, I think the aspect of the kind of ecological destruction, right, that has been caused in the African continent, but more specifically in the specific region, Southern African region that we're working in, because obviously these multinational corporations have been getting away, right, for hundreds of years. And so I think I was really interested in, really thinking through this idea of how we can tell a story through women, right, a woman-led film. With strong characters, and how they can become their own narrators in kind of popular culture, and more specifically in this film.